mental notes, whatever, but really pay attention to how we can better reach out to the youth. This is something that I am very myself passionate about. I love talking and speaking to youth, and it's really cool. Several of them are from some of my classes that I've done. But anyways, just starting things off. David, we're going to start with you. If you would just stand up, tell us your name, your age, and what high school you go to. We're just going to work our way down, okay?
My name is David. I'm 18 and I go to Norman High School.
Hey guys, I'm Nick. I'm 16 and I'm homeschooled. Alright, sit down.
Hi, I'm Gracie. I am 16 and I go to Burke High School.
I'm Bailey. I'm 15 and I go to Spartanburg.
Cool. Well, let's give them a hand. Definitely appreciate y'all showing up. This is a forum, so it's not like a debate. Unless you want it to be, I will let you debate each other. As long as, once again, you use the Socratic method, I insist you do that just to keep minds open and tensions down. So, it's just like Whose Line? These questions are made up and points don't matter, so there's no winners, all right? I'm glad one of them got that. So, anyways, I'm going to try to give equal time to everybody, but just starting things off, this is the first time I've done a forum like this, moderating one. So just raise your hand if you have an answer to the specific topic that I am asking a question about, and try to keep your answers around a minute and a half, just so we can move on to the next one. But first, we're going to talk about the Second Amendment, and y'all don't know the question I'm going to ask, but they have been informed about what subjects there are. So, first off, vague question. Do citizens have a natural right to own an assault rifle? Nick, no, you can say it, whatever you want to call it.
Well, actually, there's no clear definition of what assault rifle is, so.
Okay.
I mean, do they, like, I don't. Do you just mean like basic rifle? What do you mean by that? Or?
Excuse me. You got a lot of old people here. You got to talk up.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm quite kidding. There's no clear definition of what assault rifle is, so.
Okay. Let's say an AR-15. That's what the media would say an assault rifle is.
No, it's not light rifle.
There you go. But do we have a natural right to be able to own a semi-automatic rifle?
Yeah.
Okay. Explain that a little bit. Or does anybody else have any comment? Do we have a natural right?
Of course we do. We have a natural right to defend ourselves against government tyranny.
Okay. David, what do you think?
Basically what I think is, as he said, the government does have the capacity to become tyrannical. I ran a series of polls on my Instagram basically polling people on liberal or conservative, small gov or big gov, and then can the government become tyrannical? And I noticed one weird inconsistency was the same people who were saying that they were big gov were also saying that the government has the capacity to become tyrannical, which doesn't really make sense. Most of us here believe in small government because the government has the capacity to become tyrannical, and we need our weapons for both defense against other people and our own government in the fact that they might become tyrannical.
David, what do you think?
I mean, if you want a gun, you can have one. I mean, as long as you got a license for it, and you're not like actually intending to harm someone, you can have a gun. You need protection.
Gracie, do you agree?
I feel like it's your natural right to defend yourself, and if that's by using a gun, go for it. That's what you.
Cool. All right, number two.
Tommy, hold on.
Yeah.
If the Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear, how does the license part come in?
Well, we're just running a forum right now, but I will leave some questions to the end from the audience, and we'll get to that if we have time. I think we might. So, anyway, here we go. Should there be any changes to current firearm laws? There's a lot of outrage going on over what happened in Florida, and some people are saying we need to change gun laws. Should there be any differences in laws, and if so, what?
What kind of laws are you opposing?
Well, should there be any other laws?
Well, from what my knowledge is, not really. I'm not saying much.
Okay.
I just think people just need to bear more arms nowadays.
I feel like no matter if you change the laws or not, people are still going to do bad stuff. The laws don't really do anything with it, because people are still going to do bad stuff. People are still going to shoot people. It's just no matter how much you try to change it or get rid of it, it's still gonna happen.
It's like the argument of abortion, that people say, I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I mean-
Conversation, finish your conversation. Okay, well said in a sentence. They say that if you ban abortions, you're gonna get them illegally anyway, so.
David, you had your hand raised?
Basically, with what she was saying was, even if we had stricter gun laws, which I think the current laws we have in place are more than enough, but even if there were stricter gun laws, yes, people will still find ways to kill people. The last 2 months, London's murder rate has actually overtaken New York City's. A lot of people are explaining this away as an anomaly. The thing is, a lot of statistic researchers are saying if it continues this, then London's total for 2018 might be higher than New York. And right now the UK is working on things like banning buying kitchen knives online. You can't have you can't have knives shipped to your house because they're too dangerous, and they're trying to normalize round edge knives for your kitchens only.
Wow.
Knife control.
Because
Insane.
the murder rate is primarily due to knives, not guns.
It is true.
Yeah, yeah,
According to
there's
FBI,
a
that's
difference
true.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, they've pretty much covered my opinion. I mean, people will kill people, not guns. If you stricten the laws, then they're not gonna do anything.
And real quick, can we have somebody run up here and tell them to turn the speakers off? Just so that, thank you. Don't bump the camera. All right. Here's a quick one. Do you feel safe in your schools? We'll start with Bailey. Do you feel safe at your school?
I mean, I feel safe when I'm in class, not thinking about it, but just walking through the halls, sometimes you get that thought, there could be that person.
Besides the stuff that's been happening at Broome and other high schools around the country, I do feel safe in my classroom and when I'm like downstairs, but when I'm upstairs, I like get an uneasy feeling because what if I have to run down the stairs and pop out the window or something, because I just have that like little fear. But other than that, I feel easy in some places. Other places.
And Nicholas, I know you got armed guards at your school.
Better. You better.
He's my dad. I know, it would be kind of depressing to feel safe in my own school.
Yeah, your house is not a gun-free zone, is that what you're saying?
Obviously not.
Okay. How about you, David? What do you think?
With Dorman being such a big school, pretty much like, I wrote an article about it for my website, but basically like the feeling of a teenager afterwards, and after Parkland, it was like, especially having a friend who did go to Parkland, who used to go to Dorman, it did feel really uneasy, but at the same time, back in my 9th grade year, there was a threat of a school shooting, but me and a couple other people reported it and got taken care of, because the thing is, if people hear that going on, and the police enforcement actually do something about it, unlike what they did in Parkland, it's dealt with.
So that it's kind of a segue into the next question. Y'all possibly saved some lives by reporting something that you saw and just paying attention to your fellow classmates. So that goes right back to it. What changes, if you were the principal of a school and you had total authority over the school, what changes would you make to prevent further shootings? Nick,
Allow concealed carry.
with teachers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if it ever becomes legal, then maybe students, if it becomes legal.
Well, if you're 21, you're still in high school. You might have some problems.
Remember South Carolina, we don't live here.
And they're gonna want to raise the taxes, boys. David.
After, like, in the aftermath of Columbine, there was a lot of schools and principals and stuff trying to, like, force these anti-bullying stuff on kids, which, really didn't work and ended up hurting more than, anything. But I think if I were in charge of schools, I would try to encourage community more. Like Kyle Kashuv, one of the conservative pro-Second Amendment Parkland students, he's actually working on developing an app where anonymous student volunteers can help students who are going through, problems. And that's a small step, but the thing is, when we start acting more like humans toward each other, maybe less people are going to feel inclined to commit such monstrosities.
What do you think, Grayson?
I I would reach out to the community too, but I would also reach out to the students, because knowing some of them, they feel left out, and they just feel like burdened by some things, and some teachers, they honestly just ask them and they just move on, and I've experienced that myself back in middle school, and it doesn't feel good when your own teacher and your own principal, all they do is just lead you astray with just one question, how are you feeling, and not go further with it.
Yeah.
But I would ask the students, and then I'd go to their parents, the community, and just like really reach out to them, to the younger ones first, and then go outwards with that.
You covered it.
Got it? All right. Well, it sounds to me like it's a lot, I guess what you're saying is it would be personal responsibility among the students and the staff as well.
Yeah, connections with the whole school, like I know like there's connections with the staff, but have connections with the students. Like the students can have someone to go to, not just their parents. Their parents might not always be there all the time with family life and all that. But I would say like just like have somebody there.
David?
With that, trying to reach out to your fellow students, during the walkout thing, like a lot of people were talking about walk up, not walk out. And I saw a lot of like liberals from my school talking about how that's victim blaming, essentially, like we shouldn't be responsible for other people's mental health. So it's just like, so you're saying it's perfectly okay for you to be a jerk with someone who might have a short fuse. Like it's not that hard to ask for us students to be more empathetic and sympathetic towards each other.
That's all right. Let's see, so this is real quick, we'll just go down the line, starting with Bailey. On a scale of 1 to 10, when you are eligible to vote, how much influence does your stance on gun rights have when you select a candidate?
About a 4.
4? Okay. Tracy?
Probably 6 or 7.
6 or 7? Nick?
Pretty good question. I mean, I was thinking, well, depending what kind of gun laws he's going for.
Well, your gun stance.
Like stance.
If a politician lines up with what you believe, does that really score points with you, or is it something that's maybe not quite as important?
It takes him a good half, but yeah, I think probably 6.
6?
I'll 6.5 on 8.
Probably 8 or 9.
8 or 9?
Yes, yes.